Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. Bangladesh to manufacture its own aircraft in future, hopes Prime Minister. Government wants to launch training and research for engineers. 93.58% passed this year's SSC and equivalent exams. Prime Minister launches distribution of free textbooks among students. BNP holds human chain in front of Jatiyo Press Club in Dhaka today, demanding party chairperson Khaleda Zia's release and treatment abroad. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today hoped that Bangladesh will one day be able to produce aircraft and helicopters as the government wants to launch training and research for engineers in this regard. She said while addressing the President Parade 2021 of Bangladesh Air Force. The Premier said, one day we will be able to produce aircraft, helicopters and warplanes in our country. She also wants to impart training and conduct research accordingly from now. The present government established Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Aviation and Aerospace University in Lalmonirhat with an aim to modernize aerospace research, development of the Air Force and the civil aviation sector. Hasina also said they put the utmost importance to aerospace research. The results of this year's secondary school certificate and its equivalent examinations were published today. Passing rate is 93.58%. The passing rate of SSC examinations is 94.8%, while that of Madrasa 93.33% and the technical 88.49%. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina published the results joining a function at Bangabandhu International Conference virtually from her official residence Ganabhavan in this morning. On behalf of the Prime Minister, Education Minister Dr. Dipumoni received the results of the SSC and its equivalent examinations. Besides, Sheikh Hasina today formally inaugurated the distribution of the free textbooks among students up to the secondary level for the academic year of 2022. Some of the 347 million copies of textbooks will be distributed among some 41.7 million students up to the secondary level from the pre-primary level across the country in the 2022 academic year. The textbooks have already been sent to every upazila in the country. BNP held a human chain in front of Jatiyo Press Club in Dhaka today, demanding release of party chairperson Khaleda Zia and allowing her to go abroad for the better treatment. Party Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi and other senior leaders are participating in the program. Khaleda Zia was diagnosed with liver cirrhosis and needs to be taken abroad immediately for the advanced treatment. Khaleda has long been suffering from arthritis, diabetes, as well as the dental and eye problems. She was admitted to the hospital on November 13 and moved to the CCU the following day, nearly a week after she was discharged from the same healthcare facility. The district administration has gone back on the decision to keep a dedicated zone for women and children visiting the world's longest unbroken sea beach in the space of just 10 hours. Deputy Commissioner Mamun Rashid inaugurated a separate reserved area for women and children at Laboni Point on the beach around 12 noon on Wednesday. But after drawing an adverse reaction from the tourists, the district administration changed their decision on Wednesday night. The news of the inauguration of a reserved area for women and children at the beach sparked nationwide criticism. Law Minister Anisul Haq today ruled out an immediate enactment of a law on the formation of the Election Commission, stating that such an important legislation cannot be done overnight. The minister said that it has to go through the drafting approval of the cabinet and then placing it on the Law Ministry website for eliciting public opinion before it can be placed in the Parliament. They must go through this process considering the importance of the legislation. His comments in reply to a question came amid an ongoing dialogue President Hamid has started with the political parties on the formation of a new EC as the current election watchdog ends its 5-year term of the February 15 next. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said on Wednesday that the simultaneous circulation of the Delta and Omicron variants of the coronavirus is creating a tsunami of cases. Tedros also said Delta and Omicron are now twin threats driving up to cases to record numbers, leading to spike in hospitalization and death. Tedros repeated his call for countries to share vaccines more equitably and warned that the emphasis on boosters in research countries could have poorer nations short of jabs. However, France reported Europe's highest ever daily figure for the second day in a row at 208,000 cases. The US has reported a record average of 265,427 cases a day over the last week. At the moment, some 9 lakh new cases are being reported around the world every day. US President Joe Biden is scheduled to call his Russian counterpart Thursday afternoon local time to discuss a range of issues, including the tensions over Ukraine. According to US government sources, the call was requested by Russian President Vladimir Putin. The sources also said President Biden accepted because he believes direct leader-to-leader dialogue is crucial when it comes to Russia. His development comes a matter of weeks before the two countries hold high-level talks on the security and Ukraine. The United States on Wednesday appointed two special envoy for defending women's rights in Afghanistan as the country's new Taliban rulers further tightened the gender restrictions. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said in a statement issued by his office. Rina Amiri, an Afghan-born U.S. scholar and mediation expert who served at the State Department under former President Barack Obama, will take the role of special envoy for Afghan women, girls, and the human rights. Stephanie Foster, also a former State Department official with diverse public and private sector the experiences, will be the new senior advisor for women and girls issues in the office to the coordinator for Afghan relocation efforts, CARE. The new rules prevent women from traveling long distance without a male escort and forbid the vehicle owners from giving rides to women unless they wear the headscarves. A Russian court on Wednesday ordered the shutdown of the Memorial Human Rights Center, the key unit of the Memorial Rights Group, which Russia's Supreme Court liquidated last week. The latest move comes as state prosecutors have been accused both organizations of breaking a law requiring groups to register as the foreign agents. They also added that the center's work justified terrorism and extremism. However, the organizations insist the charges against them are politically motivated. The memorial was first established in the final years of the Soviet Union and initially investigated the crimes of the Soviet period. The shutdown order was condemned both by the international rights groups and the US State Department. Australia's former parliament building in the capital, Canberra, was briefly set alight on Thursday by protesters during a demonstration for Aboriginal sovereignty. Police said no one was injured in the fire, which engulfed the old parliament horses front door before it was put out. Protest violence on this scale is rare in Australia, though the flare-ups have become more common during the pandemic. Workers inside the heritage building were quickly evacuated once the fire broke out. The current residents of the building, the Museum of Australia Democracy, had on 20 December shut its door after indigenous protesters held a peaceful sit-in. Indonesia yesterday said it will let dozens of Rohingya refugees come ashore after protests from the locals and the international community over its plan to push them into the Malaysian water. At least 100, mostly women and children abroad, a sticking wooden vessel off Aceh province were denied refuge in Indonesia, where the authorities on Tuesday said they planned to push them into the neighboring Southeast Asian country after fixing their boat. Reports said As it is now in the middle of the pandemic, all refugees will undergo medical screening. After that, the task force will coordinate with related stakeholders to provide shelter and logistics for the refugees. Hassan Tarek, a representative of American Cricket Board, said this is the time America wants to take young cricketers from Bangladesh. Since gaining ODI status, the United States have been making far-reaching plans for the cricketing future. While working towards the goal, they once recruited cricketers like India's Ashim Chand, Pakistan's Sami Aslam and New Zealand's Corey Anderson. They don't want experience or the older cricketers. He wants to keep a close eye on the young cricketers as part of the strategic plan. Before ending, we go through Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Bangladesh to manufacture its own aircraft in future, hopes Prime Minister. Government wants to launch training and research for engineers. 93.58% passed this year's SSC and equivalent exams. Prime Minister launches distribution of free textbooks among the students. BNP holds human chain in front of Jatiya Press Club in Dhaka today, demanding party chairperson Khaleda Zia's release and treatment abroad. You are up to date with the Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.